first $10,000 you save might feel almost useless. It takes months, maybe years to build. And when you finally get there, the returns barely seem noticeable. But here's what most people misunderstand about building wealth. Your money doesn't start working hard for you immediately. At first, you're doing almost all the work. Imagine you save your first $1,000. You work for it. You cut expenses. You make sacrifices. And after all that effort, your money might only generate a small amount of returns. So you save another $1,000, then another. The process feels painfully slow. This is the stage where many people give up. They look at their account and think, what's the point? Because whether you have $2,000 or $5,000 invested, it doesn't feel like the money is changing your life. And that's true, at least for now. The early stage of wealth building is mostly about your contributions. You're putting money in faster than your investments can meaningfully grow it. But something important is happening underneath. Every dollar you add becomes another dollar that can potentially generate returns. And those returns can eventually generate returns of their own. That's the idea behind compound growth. It starts quietly. So quietly that you might not notice it at first. But given enough time, the relationship between your contributions and your returns begins to change. Imagine two people. The first person has $1,000 invested. The second has $100,000. If both earn the same percentage return, they don't make the same amount of money. A 10% return on $1,000 is $100. A 10% return on $100,000 is $10,000. Same percentage, completely different result. This is why your first $10,000 can feel so frustrating. Your percentage return might look impressive, but the actual dollar amount is still small. The problem isn't necessarily that your investments aren't working. The problem is that you haven't given them enough capital or enough time. Think of it like planting a tree. At first, you do almost everything. You plant the seed, you water it, you protect it, and for a long time, it barely looks different. Then it grows. And eventually, the tree becomes large enough that its own size changes what it can do. Money works in a similar way. At the beginning, your savings are the engine. Later, your accumulated capital becomes an engine of its own. This is why the first stage of investing can feel boring. You're building something that hasn't become powerful yet. And that's exactly why many people underestimate it. Here's where the numbers become interesting. Suppose you invest $200 every month. That's $2,400 a year. After 5 years, you've personally contributed $12,000. If your investments also earn returns, your account could be worth more than the amount you put in. But the important part isn't the exact number. It's what happens next. Now imagine continuing for another 5 years. Your original contributions are still invested. The returns you've already earned are still invested. And your new contributions keep getting added on top. You're no longer starting from zero every year. You're building on top of what you already built. That's the part people often miss. Compound growth doesn't become powerful because one investment suddenly produces an incredible return. It becomes powerful because growth keeps getting added to a growing base. Your first few $1,000s have a relatively small base to work with. Your next few $1,000s are being added to everything that came before. And eventually, the growth of the portfolio can become larger than the amount you're personally contributing. That's a major turning point. Because now, your money is doing a meaningful amount of the work. This is also why time matters so much. If you wait until you have a huge amount of money before investing, You're giving up years during which your capital could have been growing. You don't need to become rich before compound growth becomes useful. You need to start building the base, and this creates an uncomfortable truth. The most important years of investing can be the years when the results look the least impressive. You're putting money away. You're watching the balance grow slowly, and it feels like nothing is happening. But underneath the surface, you're buying something much more valuable than today's return. You're buying future earning power for your capital. That first $10,000 isn't supposed to make you rich. It's supposed to become the foundation that makes the next $10,000 easier. Then, the next. Then, the next. Eventually, the question changes. At the beginning, you ask, how much money can I save? Later, you start asking, how much money can my money make? That's the transition from simply accumulating cash to building wealth. And it doesn't happen overnight. It happens because you keep contributing, avoid unnecessary lifestyle inflation, and give your capital enough time to compound. The first $10,000 is difficult because you're pushing the entire machine yourself. The goal is to build it until the machine starts pushing back.